Hello. Hi. Hope you guys can hear me and see me well. I need a message. Okay. All right. We're gonna do a chapter. Well, it is the foreword and the introduction. But awakening the avatar within. Hey Eric. Awakening that I don't know. Really the um here's a review about it. Like on the back it says awakening the avatar within aligns with the energies emerging during this important time on our planet, calling us to step into our magnificence and embody our truth as the soulful self or the avatar we are. So, and exactly what this just said, I think it's a powerful it's definitely needed for to strengthen our soul and awaken that avatar to its fullest potential, especially in these times. um, but let's start with this. So it says, at this unique moment in our collective history, humankind is emerging in an evolutionary uprising towards higher consciousness, bringing ever increasing clarity of what is ours to claim. Quantum science is providing a pathway for the logical mind to embrace versions of ourself previously left only to the esoteric and spiritual conversation. Historical sciences and many of their limited perspectives based in linear thinking, we are now being surpassed by discoveries in the disciplines of the human biology, neuro, and cellular plasticity, and the undisputable power of the mind that, when coupled with the energies of our heart coherence, is the ability to transform our health, our happiness, and even our world. Which is so true. It's so amazing. I'm so happy and excited to start this. In this world where science and spirituality are drawing ever nearer, I hope you can hear me and it's not too loud or annoying. There is like a paper plant or some sort, um, like behind me across the river, and sometimes it's a little loud, so I hope that's not bothersome. It's just really nice out today, and I wanted to do this outside. And by the way, I'm Renee. And if you are new here, I mean, you can scroll through. I do a lot of like random things and then I read. And we're just starting Awakening the Avatar Within. And, we at this time, it's very important that everyone wakes up and strengthen their soul. Do what we're here for. Remember what we're here for. But let's continue. In this world where science and spirituality are drawing ever nearer, Darren's message joins the ranks of those awakening humanity to the fact that we are so much more than we've been conditioned to believe. Awakening the avatar within aligns with energies emerging during this important time on our planet, calling us to step into our magnificence and embody our truth as the soulful self, or that avatar we are. As evidence of our ability to restructure ourselves both neurologically and biochemically, becoming increasingly obvious, it is time for us to embrace this new truth of our being. Research is showing us beyond the shadow of doubt that we generate our reality that either that are either surviving or thriving within it. What we think, feel, and believe has an impact on every experience of life itself, including the activation of our very own genetic inheritance and the reconstruction of it. Now more than ever, we are being shown that we are a complete and creative force on Earth with the power of change for our own chemistry as well as our own cellular structure, even regenerating injured and damaged tissues previously thought to be permanently altered. We are youthing ourselves, healing ourselves and others with remote communications and tapping into our source with greater potency more than any other time in recorded history. We are learning that everything is energy, including us, and that energy can be altered but never destroyed. We are changing our identity, realizing our pain and suffering is a byproduct of assuming we are a separate and distant entity, rather than a constant stream of energetic consciousness. We are now where there's a foundational field of energy, of which we are in each expression, that allows us to access a never-ending abundance of resource to live the life that we can imagine. We need only remember how. Thank you, Eric. In my book, The Energy Codes, the 7-step system to awaken your spirit, heal your body, and live your best life, I show people how to access that essence of our true self. So that's a different book. The book is not only a collection of theories and concepts compiled from cutting-edge science, rather it's based on my personal experience of higher states of consciousness that ignited me during a life-changing moment in deep state meditation. In that moment, I awakened, not only as having a profound revelation of human possibility, but having the direct experience of it, an initial moment of felt contact inside a new reality. In that state, I recognized who and what we truly are through an actualization. Witnessing the complete bandwidth of consciousness from this space, I realized that heaven and earth are a continuum, not two separate and distant realms. There is no dividing line. I also realized the truth of what we are, a compression of light that, as it embodies all the way to the physical end of the spectrum, becomes another vibrational frequency, one that we call love. The degree to which we allow this to move through us with each breath and without distortion is the degree to which we experience our true selves. Love in a body. Love it. Since my moment of awakening, I've spent my life in experimentation of the process it would take to return to this sacred space on command. I spent 10 years codifying this process into what has become. I'm going to pause real quick because there's somebody on a motorcycle. Like I said, it's a beautiful day. Everyone's outside. And if you like it or whatever, make sure you like this video too, because I think if you like it, it helps send it out to other people. And we want everyone to be on this awakening path to our true selves so we can fix this place, you know? Since my moment of awakening, I've spent my life in experimentation of the process it would take to return to the sacred space on command. Oh, I already read that part. The energy codes, which I now teach in more than 95 countries around the world. A blend of science and spirituality was needed to be able to speak to the comprehensiveness of the topic. Fortunately, I had experience in a rapid rising in expertise in both. As a scientist, I was interested in reproducing this state and understanding what was happening, as I did. As a doctor, I wanted to matter for humankind. The process has taken me to a space of avatar my own awareness, and my life has changed because of this. Each of us has this capacity. We only need the guidance to help us remember how. I share this information with you to offer additional perspectives to the point that Darren Starwin is making for us in his new book, Awakening the Avatar Within, a roadmap for uncovering your superpowers, upgrading your body, and uplifting the human race. That's what this book is that we're reading. Darren is as interested as I am in demystifying the mystery and walking the awakening path with practical feet. Once we realized how natural it is for us to rise into our own Christed consciousness, he will explain to you here, which we'll learn about in this book. A critical mass can occur for humanity, which will facilitate the process for others to awaken as well. So, like, us sharing this, thanks, Eric, us sharing this and, like, just speaking on this stuff and spreading, awareness and awakening, like, we activate other people. Like, our lights light up others. It's amazing. A critical mass can occur for humanity, which will facilitate the process for others to awaken as well. It's not only the life, but the reality we were meant to have and share. This book will help you change your life into an empowered expression of the avatar that you truly are. Enjoy the ride. So that was the first part of that, of a doctor, from her point of view, about the book. Just gonna take a little sip here. So the introduction. There is now a rapidly growing movement of people who recognize that awakening of human consciousness is the ultimate solution to our personal and planetary problems. They recognize the truth that there is one common denominator to all the environmental, social, political, economic, and health crises facing the human race now. That common denominator is part of the human mind denying our true self, divine self, universal consciousness of love and oneness. This book is a roadmap to an extraordinary, transformative process few people even believe is possible. Each of its chapters contain consciousness awakening messages combined with transmissions of higher light energy. Receiving these transmissions and working with the guided practices offered will support you in realizing your true identity as an avatar. The word avatar is derived from the Sanskrit word avatara, which means decent, meaning the divine coming down to manifest as a human being for a big purpose. It's my husband. You probably know some people who radiate spiritual light in powerful and charismatic ways. They tend to be spiritual teachers, ministers, or other kinds of leaders, and many are drawn to follow them. You may wonder, I'm not like one of those. How could I possibly be an avatar? The truth is, there are many different ways avatars show up. Not all are in public view. I assure you that you have your own job description for how beautifully express divinity, or how you beautifully express divinity. Chapter 17, your job description as a light worker will help you identify it. So that would be later on. Living as an avatar becomes real as you go through the physiological process of upgrading your body to be able to hold a higher frequency of energy and consciousness. From that place, you will discover you have real superpowers you can develop and share to help heal, bless, and lift up others, and have a lot of fun in the process. These extraordinary transformations are possible because we are living through a wave of rapid planetary ascension of consciousness affecting all life. This is part of vast cycles of consciousness that have been documented in the ancient Vedas from India, traditional Mayan cosmology, and other sources. The doors to awakened consciousness are now wide open, much more so than ever before in recent human history. In fact, our greatest impediment to taking advantage of this extraordinary opportunity is simply believing we can't. The human race is already moving through this ascension into greater light, and nothing can stop it. What is variable is how much suffering there needs to be during this transition time. This is where modern avatars shine. We have powerful abilities to heal ourselves and reduce the suffering of others. We do this by helping accelerate the grounding of higher light in our bodies, our psyches, our societies, our arts, our institutions, and our sciences. What is variable is how suffering. Oh, that's just repeating about that. It has a picture. I don't know if you can see it. My fingers are dirty from digging in the garden. There are so many good people working toward the healing and upliftment of all humanity in those areas. Yet without the major shift to consciousness, avatars help bring our collective experience is likely to look like one step forward, one step backward. That's not enough for humanity to make it through this time without increasing destruction. Each of us is caught up in this ascension of consciousness, and our experience of it can range from blissful to deeply disturbing. A great analogy is riding a surfboard on large ocean waves. When surfers have a good balance and skill, the experience of riding big waves is exhilarating and joyful. If they lose their balance and wipe out, they can quickly find themselves crushed under a wall of water and gasping for breath. In a similar way, when you trustingly allow the rapidly elevating energies of consciousness ascension to carry you, it is a high, joyful experience, the greatest ride of your life. Yet if you fearfully deny and resist this profound shift in consciousness, it can and often does feel scary and overwhelming. The information, perspectives, and practical methods presented in this book come from my own lifetime journey of learning, research, self-healing, helping heal others, meditation, facing my shadow self, teaching, and direct spiritual experience. Rather than a bio about me in the beginning of the book, I have woven my personal story throughout the various chapters within it. So that is like the words of the author, which is Darren Starwin. Healing ourselves. If you're like many people on the path of self-healing, you may have consulted with a succession of healers, therapists, doctors, holistic practitioners, clergy, gurus, or self-help books, and still yet have times when you feel a deep sense of trauma or disconnect within your being. And yet there's a mighty divine current flowing through you 24/7 that can free you from all bondage and give you the power to help you free the rest of the human race. This is the missing link that can bring you what you have really been looking for all through all that searching. You can access more of this divine current through the process of becoming Christed. Christing refers to a process through which your mind, body, nervous system, and genetics are literally rewired to operate at higher frequencies of love, intelligence, and creative power. These are attributes of what is often called God or divine source, and as an avatar, your job is learning to practically express them in your everyday life. In this case, the term Christing has a similar meaning to the words maturing, evolving, or other terms that describe a process of fulfilling one's greatest potential. The oft prophesied second coming of Christ is not about one superstar person making a grand appearance. The second coming is happening as huge numbers of people become Christed, and through the immense field of love and power that generates, we are able to effectively rebuild our world. Section 2 of this book is titled Quantum Healing, and it gives you practical guidance in developing your avatar healing abilities. As will be explained in Chapter 13, you're in a holographic interconnection with all life. This means there's no real separation between you, everyone else, and the entire universe. Therefore, you can be a catalyst of healing for people thousands of miles away. Due to the holographic principle, there is essentially no difference between healing yourself and helping heal the planet. It all happens together. It's just a matter of your intention and focus. The phrase, I am Avatar, is a supremely powerful affirmation and mantra of your highest truth. When you say, I am Avatar, you identify yourself as an expression of the pure love, power, and wisdom of the universe. You accept responsibility for being a vital part of the solution at this critical time. To some people, saying, I am Avatar or I am the Christ may sound like a radical, conceited, or even an insane thing to say, yet claiming I am Avatar is the preeminent key to the fulfillment of your personal purpose, healing, and self-realization. The following passage from the beloved Indian scripture, I'm probably going to say this wrong, my apologies. The Bhagavad Gita expresses the purpose of an avatar well. The word Dharma in this quote means fulfilling the true purpose and living in tune with the laws of nature. Whenever Dharma declines and the purpose of life is forgotten, I manifest myself on earth. I am born in every age to protect the good, to destroy evil, and to reestablish Dharma. According to this phrase, we are currently certainly living in a time where avatars are needed, lots of us. I'm calling upon you to trust your own inner knowing. Don't settle for anything less than your highest and clearest truth that a vital part of you already knows. If you have ever felt that there was a bigger picture for fulfilling your life potential, or a more expansive way you could contribute to the welfare of the human race, now's the time to step up. It is my sincere wish that the message, practices, and vibrational transmission of this book act as a touchstone to help awaken you to a greater truth of who you really are. The tools you will gain here can empower you to free yourself from your own inner struggles and contradictions, and recognize the divine energy transmission that is already flowing through you. The ultimate solution is right here to all the things that may have made you feel discouraged, frustrated, or afraid. Dogma-free understanding of Avatar, Christ, Buddha, and Lightworker. The word Christ has a similar meaning as Avatar. It's derived from the Greek word Christos, which means the anointed one, referring to a human being who is expressing divine presence. Christ is an innate quality of the true higher self of human beings. Therefore, I use both terms, Avatar and Christ, interchangeably throughout the book. The term Christ is not used here in a religious Christian context. The term Buddha, which means awakened one in the Pali language, also has a similar meaning. All of these terms describe the experience of being an awakened avatar in human form, independent of any religious affiliations or belief. A more contemporary word to describe these stepping up to heal and serve through higher consciousness is lightworker. There are already many millions of people acting as light workers on our planet now, and that is one of the main reasons that so many natural and human-caused disasters have been averted or lessened from how severe they could have been. If you're a light worker or moving into being one, Chapter 17 will help you identify the characteristic ways you offer your love and service. Two of the most famous avatars, Jesus, the Christ, and Gautama, the Buddha, were not always awake. They had to go through a process of becoming aware of the illusions they lived in, taking back their power and awakening themselves to their true nature. They were able to break free of the profound amnesia most of us fall into when we grow up in human bodies. Yet, they are no more avatar than you are. It's just that they accomplished their awakening to a greater degree, and so can act as our helpful big brothers. This time, the same opportunity is in front of you now. How can avatars help uplift the world? Avatars are creators and intuitively grasp a profound truth. What we see as the world is not any one certain way. It is really what we believe it to be and make it to be. Realizing this truth is a major step in awakening our consciousness and knowing who we really are. Less awakened people generally see the world helplessly, in a fear based way. Avatars learn to hold the vision of the world they choose to live in, manifesting their vision by focusing their love, consciousness, and actions upon it. This means that each person living as an avatar becomes a beacon of light, helping illuminate the path for others. This form of focus has unlimited potency, especially as large numbers of us develop our superpowers and focus together. So, see Chapter 4 to learn more about your superpowers. I have witnessed many remarkable examples of the power of avatars when we focus our light together. As a striking example, in the fall of 2019, some of the worst wildfires in recorded history were raging throughout the eastern Australia. Prior to the start of these wildfires, Australia had been griped by record heat and more than 2 years of continuous drought. By November of that year, a state of catastrophic fire danger was declared in Sydney and other parts of New South Wales. By January 2020, over 46 million acres were burning in various Australian states and territories, destroying thousands of homes and decimating entire species of animals and plants. In mid-January 2020, I received a series of emails calling on me to participate in 2 scheduled times of global meditation to benefit Australia. Participants were requested to take a few minutes, 2 days in a row, to visualize heavy rains falling over the fire-stricken parts of the country. It was suggested in the email that we visualize people standing out in the rain celebrating and giving thanks. I participated in these group meditations, feeling the power of people all over the world focusing their prayers. Rain started falling within 2 days after these global meditations. The first rainfall in late January started putting out the fires. Then between February 6th and the 10th, 15.4 inches of rain fell throughout the fire-stricken areas of Australia, putting out most of the fires. It was the heaviest rainfall recorded in Australia in 30 years. I have heard about or witnessed many experiences like that. Another one happened at the time of the Deepwater Horizon oil spill back in April 2010 in the Gulf of Mexico. Considered to be one of the largest environmental disasters in U.S. history, over 210 million gallons of petroleum were discharged into the Gulf with severe toxic effects on human and marine life. Scientists and engineers tried many methods to cap the Deepwater well without success over a 5-month period. On the weekend of September 18th to 19th of 2010, as I was participating in a spiritual healing retreat in Tucson, Arizona, or Tucson. I always say Tuscan. My apologies. I don't know why it comes out like that. A teacher of advanced spiritual healing methods. At one point, on Saturday the 18th, one of the retreat participants suggested that I ask Dr. Shaw if our group could somehow help mitigate the Deepwater Horizon environmental disaster. I did go up to him and during a break and explain the situation. Dr. Shaw had not heard about it since he apparently didn't listen to the news, but he acknowledged the situation and agreed to see what he and our group energy could do. The next day, Sunday the 19th, I was checking the news and I learned that a team of engineers had finally succeeded at capping and containing the oil spill. Was this just an interesting coincidence, or could it have been a manifestation of the power of focused intention? I am open to the latter explanation because I have personally experienced or heard about many such extraordinary healings and reprieves from negative and disastrous situations throughout my life. Awakening avatars can participate in a level of casualty, hard to explain through most of our sciences, yet it can clearly be experienced. The science of quantum physics has been catching up to being able to explain the power of consciousness to create reality, and you will find several explanations of quantum phenomena throughout this book. Why trauma matters and why healing trauma is an essential part of the solution. Trauma is a big deal for the human race now. While about 8 to 12 million people in the United States are medically diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder, or PTSD, almost all the rest of us deal with what I call low-grade PTSD. It has become our new normal to feel stressed out in various ways due to economic pressures, isolation, family breakdowns, exposure to toxins, and living in highly polarized societies. Ironically, all of this easily recognizable stress is exacerbated by the mass ascension of consciousness we are part of. As our consciousness expands, we are becoming more empathic, literally feeling more of the pain of the world. Many of our own conveniently buried psychic burdens and unresolved past trauma are also coming up to the surface of our minds much more quickly than we can often process. These are reasons why so much of the traditional psychotherapies and holistic healing arts only ease part of people's distress these days. As mentioned above, light workers are avatars who specialize in helping others heal by awakening to their true nature. This is the highest and most effective form of healing. It truly frees people from their past mental and emotional programming and allows them to step up to being a part of the solution themselves. Section 2 of this book is full of valuable guidance for healers and specific healing methods. Opening to your avatar energy transmission. As you go through the process of becoming Christed, you become familiar with the specific ways divine consciousness expresses through you. I call this your unique energy transmission. This is a stream of pure vibrational energy emanating from your highest spiritual source that flows through you and blesses others in profound ways. This is the essence of you. It is also what makes you most effective at whatever you are called to do in your life. Why do I say that your energy transmission is unique? Think of the human race as a huge symphony orchestra. Each musician in the orchestra has their own parts to play that differs from most of the other players. Although some players share the same part and play in sections, when each player in the symphony plays, her part clearly and accurately and amazing, beautifully composite musical sound is created. This is the way it is with us. Our energy transmission is the part we are given to play in the grand symphony of the human race. Our highest key to success, effectiveness, and fulfillment, in every aspect of our life is identifying our unique energy transmission and cultivating our body's ability to hold and emanate it. And I'm going to pause real quick because he's going to start his truck and pull out of the driveway. So I'm going to take a sip of water. I'm loving this already. Let me know what you think. How do you like it, Eric? I think this book is going to give lots of activations. Like, yes, definitely. Oh my gosh. I just flipped over and it opened up to like part 16. Your assignment of love. 16 is my favorite number. That's so funny. Okay. The specific abilities your transmission gives you can be called your superpowers. These are the ways you express genius in your life. Yes, that's right, genius. Genius refers to people who have opened up to allow their transmission to freely express through them. There is great unlimited power in this. We have seen how a handful of people in touch with their genius have transformed the human race through science, technology, the expressive arts, furthering of human rights, spiritual awakening, and much more. You are now called to be one of them. Why? Because you can, and also because the world surely needs that special ability you are perfectly suited to offer. The reason this book and others like it are needed is that most of us who are avatars in human forms are on the latter part of our long journey in which we have been exploring the human experience. During this long, strange trip, we have experienced all manner of high and low vibratory experiences, from the heights of ecstasy to the depths of despair. We have repeatedly acted out the roles of both perpetrator and victim. Many of these experiences have created lasting energy imprints upon the ultra-sensitive inner membranes of our subconscious minds. By now, that has created quite a bewildering burden that can cloud our hearts and obscure our sight. I often use the Sanskrit word samskara, or the English terms energetic gunk, conditioning, or residue to refer to this complex psychic burden that is at the root of most chronic pain, disease, anxiety, or depression. One factor that has made this burden even heavier is the tendency for some self-serving individuals and organizations to take advantage of others by programming their minds with messages and images designed to manipulate them into giving their divine power away. These individuals have been all too happy to take this power for their own personal gain. You will learn how to put a stop to that in this book. Human beings are energy transceivers. This means that we are constantly sharing energy vibrations with others. sending and receiving. This includes those close to us and those a world apart. The current Earth condition, in which close to 8 billion people are sharing vibrations that are frequently stressed and fear based, has been a kaleidoscope mass hallucination in which we have largely lost touch with who we really are. No wonder things often seem so bizarre. Ain't that the truth? There's a lot more shade than earlier. Yes, I know. The sun moved over. It's like over this tree now. Okay. The great news is that there are simple, effective methods for clearing your inner space so you can not only remember that you are an avatar, but also embody that pure high vibration of love in your everyday physical experience. This makes you a powerful part of the solution, whether you are engaging as an activist or living a quiet, contemplative life, or anything in between. Healing humanity. As I write these words, our human family is living through a new set of experiences that a very few of us ever expected. The fallout from the COVID-19 virus epidemic put the brakes on much of human activity through much of 2020 and 2021, and at the time of the writing is still adversely affecting many countries. As is usually the case, those who are richer and more privileged are coping relatively well and even thriving, while the poor face increasingly devastating consequences. There are most endless beliefs and theories about what this epidemic is, where it came from, why it is happening, and what the solution could be to get the human race back on track. People hunger to know, when will things go back to normal so we can get on with our lives? My firm belief is that things will never go back to what we considered normal, and that's a great blessing. We have been living on planet Earth in ways that have become increasingly unsustainable, and as a result are facing a myriad of escalating consequences. To put it simply, we just can't keep living the way we've been living. The issues surrounding COVID and expressing social issues filling the news headlines daily have pushed an even more critical truth to the background of most people's awareness, and that is the environmental reckoning we are facing now. 97% of or more of actively publishing climate scientists agree that climate warming trends over the past century are extremely likely due to human activities, and the majority emphatically state that this poses critical threats to human well-being and even survival. The Day the Earth Stood Still is a well-known sci-fi movie that was produced in two versions in 1951 and 2008. The story is about an alien with godlike powers who comes to Earth to tell the human race that our self-destructive ways are not only endangering ourselves, but other worlds as well, and that we must change our ways or be stopped. In case you have not seen the movie, I recommend it and will not spoil it by disclosing more. Although our current situation is not the same as the plot of that movie, the underlying truth, the urgent need for rapid fundamental change, is accurate. It would not make sense for scientists, governments, churches, and all concerned people to come together to mobilize our best resources to resolve the pressing crisis facing humanity. Crisis is facing humanity. Yet there is deep division among people, not only about what the best approach is, um, there's animals all over. But even the most fundamental facts are about our situation. This extreme polarization has hamstrung the kind of massive, unified action and mobilization so needed now. This book offers a radical perspective on some of the most effective solutions to these challenges of our individual and global situation. I will demonstrate that it is through our consciousness we have collectively created our current situation, and it is through the unlimited power of a waking consciousness we can save the human race and our earth from destruction, while simultaneously ascending into a way of living we may have only dreamed of as a conscious, joyful sovereigns. Oh, I love it. That's the end of that. My head is hurting. I think I need to get more water and something else to eat. Gotta take care of ourselves. It's very, very important right now. Let's see. Yeah, and then the next part is, which I'll probably read by itself as well on another video. Because like it doesn't go like chapters. This book's kind of weird. It goes like the introduction, and then it says another few pages talks about getting started, how to use the book. And then it goes like section. There's a couple different sections, and then each section there's a couple different chapters. Like chapter 1 is in section 1, and then section 1 goes all the way to chapter 9, and then it goes to section 2 and chapter 10, etc. But how many pages is that? 17 to 26. So it's not that many. For this next part, I think I'm just going to read it real quick. Actually, no. I'll wait and do it separate. I'm sorry. I keep going back and forth. But yeah, I'll put that in the next video because I do gotta hop off. But it just basically says getting started, how to use this book. So it'll explain that. And then we will go to chapter 1, section 1, and get started with that. What is it? That one about? I am Avatar, it says. So I think it talks about like the different Christed beings. It was nice spending time with you too. Thanks so much for being here live, Eric. And like I said before, if anybody watches this on the replay, say hello. And I look forward to getting more into this book and waking our avatar within. Have a great day. I'll see you soon.